Welcome back to the Sawmill, friends. It's Monday. It's raining. I know it's a shocker. It's rained here just about all weekend. The monsoon hit a few days ago. It's supposed to rain all week. But luckily, I got the tractor out last week and brought up some timber so we'd have something here to saw, because the conditions are so wet. If I try to bring anything up right now, the tractor would just sink over the log yard and on the way over here around the mill as well. Hopefully, when it dries up, I'll get my road built up here. That's one of my goals here this spring, is get a road built from the log yard all the way up here around the sawmill building, where the logs come in over here on the side. And Lucy's over here dying for attention. Come here, Lucy. This is Lucy Cat, if anybody's not seen her yet. She's trying to nurse off of me. It's kind of weird. I think she got taken away from her mother when she was too young. She likes to get on you and kind of lick and stuff. It's kind of odd. So anyways, guys, what we have lined up here this morning is we got a white pine, and don't click off. We're going to do more than pine today. I know you guys are probably tired of seeing white pine on the video. This log will go really fast. I'm going to be making it into 4x4s. I need 4 more. Actually, just 3 more for the timber frame for my girts, but I'll probably get 4 out of this. Maybe. Famous last words. Probably just get 2. That's kind of small as I'm looking at it here on the other end. But we'll knock this out real fast. We'll go over the measurements of it, and it's nice and straight, so there'll be limited waste on it except for that tapered end down there. It looks like it's a little bit too long anyways. I may have to take off about 2 feet on the other end. We'll measure that in just a second. But after that's over with, guys, we're getting on to the good stuff finally. Let me grab the camera and show you guys what's coming up after the pine, and we will get past this pine today. So fair warning, don't click off the video. This is going to be more than just white pine today, guys, I promise. Walnut is finally making a comeback here. Finally. So here's the white pine that's on the loading arms. Got a lot of taper on that far end. We'll probably take off about 2 or 3 feet down there because I don't need it. There's Lucy again, photo bombing us here. And over here on deck, we have a nice black walnut. Probably be some crotch figure at that end down there. Probably right there as well. And the best crotch figure will probably be right here at the bottom, based on the size of that limb that looks like it's coming off. We'll get a better look at it when we put it on the sawmill. Stick around here with us, friends. We'll go ahead and get some sawmilling going and have a good day here. Even though most people are stuck inside, hopefully this will give you something to watch on TV. All right, friends, here's where we're at. It looks like I'm going to get 2 4x4s out of this one. I was hoping for 3 and possibly 4, but we'll take what we can get. This one right here is going to have the heart, and it will be centered in the middle of this 4x4 after I make these next 2 cuts. We got a nice 5/4 plank on this side right here, and I'll probably go ahead and leave where it's at, and it will just fall into these 2 cuts that we make next. I'll use these for some trim pieces for something later on. What I'm going to do is come in here and make a cut on the top, and I'll probably get about a 1-inch board from there. I got the AccuSet set for 4 inches, so we'll come down 4 inches and make our next cut. We'll pull the 4x4 out of the middle right here on these 2 timbers, and that will leave us with another 1-inch board right here on the bottom. And the reason I'm doing it like that is, you can see there's a lot of bark and wane right here. And down there toward the wind chimes, you can see there's bark on the top. And if it wasn't for that, I would just come down to make a 4-inch cut from the bed and be done. But I want to try to get rid of as much of that bark as possible. So we'll come in here in the middle and get our 4x4 out of the middle of this timber instead of coming up 4 inches from the bed. I hope that made sense to you guys. I'm trying to explain in detail my thoughts here when I run this sawmill and kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on in my head when I'm thinking about these cuts here. Something I want to explain here real fast, guys, I never talked about here on the channel, is that running a sawmill and woodworking is the same thing, with the addition of when woodworking you have to do joinery to bring the wood together. With the sawmill, and you're just taking it apart. And what I mean by you're removing wood, what you're doing is you're running the sawmill through a log, you're taking out 1/8 of an inch material, because I'm running a band sawmill here today. That's the kerf, which is 1/8 of an inch. And you're doing that, and you're removing that material, and you're gaining the best board possible. And it's all about what direction you saw into the log at, how it's clamped, how it's turned on the mill. And you control all that, but all you're doing is removing material in order to gain the best board, slab, cant, post, timber, whatever possible out of the log. And that's the way I've always looked at it. So if you guys out there running sawmills, next time you put a log on the mill, kind of take a step back and look at it that way and think to yourself, all I'm doing is removing material and pulling out the best boards possible. It'll give you a different aspect on running a sawmill, and you'll kind of look at it differently if you think about it that way. It does for me at least. Try it out next time you're running your mill and see what happens. All right, friends, real fast, here's the results, and then we'll get on to the black walnut there. That's going to be a really nice log right there. If you didn't understand what I was talking about, you can see right here what we did. Right there's the finished 4x4. You can see the cut right below it that got rid of all that bark on the bottom right there. That's what I was after, is a nice clean timber. And then down here on this far end, I was able to reduce the bark down. A little bit of wane on that corner. Not too bad at all. We can deal with that. We'll take that off with a draw knife and you'll never see it. So that worked out pretty good. I was able to get that timber almost free of any wane at all. So that worked out really well. Pretty happy with that. But this log is 12 feet long, and as you can see, there's a big crotch at the bottom, and there's another one down here at the end. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. So what I'll probably do is grab the chainsaw and make this an 8-foot timber. That way we can capture the crotch here at the front of the log. Then this 4-footer, we'll throw it to the side and do it next. A lot of good stuff going on with this log though, guys, and I can't remember where this log came from. By the looks of it, it's been on the ground for a decent amount of time. Not too long, because the bark is still pretty solid. It didn't come off when I was loading it on here. But it should have some nice timber in it. It's been way too long, guys, since we've had walnut on the mill. Let me grab the chainsaw. We'll go ahead and make this 2 logs. And we'll take a look at the crotch here and do a few measurements and get to sawing, guys. Looking forward to this. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I told you guys we would have some walnut on the sawmill today, and here it is. Alright now friends, here's what we're looking at. I got it turned the way I want it. As you can see on the top right here, right there's where the limb came off, so we should have some really nice crotch figure hiding right in there under the bark. Probably about 2 cuts down we'll start seeing that figure. Down here on the other end, there's a lot going on. Had to cut off that end. As you can see, I got it propped up down there at the end of the sawmill. Hopefully I can get that thing moved down here when we get done without dropping it off the side. That's the thing about those short pieces of timber, guys. There's a lot of good value in that. As you can see, this is the reason I've done that. Right here we got 2 crotches coming out. This will be really nice right here. We'll saw right down into this one probably tomorrow and have crotch figure going on both sides. But those short timbers, guys, they are definitely a problem when it comes to clamping them on the sawmill. And don't worry, that one's not going anywhere. I got it wedged in there pretty tight. Right here we got our fresh cut we made on the end. Some nice color in there. A decent amount of sapwood, more sapwood than I like to see. But we'll work with it and see what happens. And right here on the operator's side, you can see I got the toe board up. That's about 2 inches high. And the reason being, this log has a little bit of a bow to it. Right there on that side right there, it actually goes down below the saw bed just a little. I'm not really going to think about this down here. I'm not even concerned with it. When you're doing stuff like this, guys, your main concern is lining up your crotch figure area, which is right here, and focusing on that. This is an 8-foot timber. If we just end up with 6-foot long slabs due to taper at the bottom, I'm fine with that. Because that's where the money is, guys, right there. In that crotch figure under this bark. That's enough about that, guys. Let's get the sawmill fired back up and make a cut or two and see what happens.